like, why are you guys putting the PB&Js outside now? Like,
I don't know.
no,
I didn't even look at
they're not in the
the
refrigerator no more.
What?
Yeah. Heartbreak. Trust me, I haven't bought a PB&J since that day.
What?
Oh, did these have?
Well, yesterday they were in the
Some
fridge.
Stoic principles to look for in your reading.
It just tastes good.
The reading is long, I know, it seems burdensome, but
So,
you don't have to read the whole thing.
this?
Yes, you don't have to read the whole thing.
I get one.
What that is kind of a series of journal entries by Marcus Aurelius when he was out there in the field in Europe, running around with the Roman armies fighting battles against these people. And in fact, in the next scene in the film, you see him in his command tent in the pavilion writing in some kind of journal. So you're getting his writings written in the midst of his day-to-day life. And the wonderful thing about this reading is you can pick it up, read a little bit, think about it, go about your day. Pick it up again, read a little bit more. You don't have to read the whole thing. I will expect to see at least 10 pages thoroughly marked up. But look at different parts of the reading. What I would want you to do is look for the Stoic principles that I'm going to describe to you. They're kind of woven throughout the whole reading. And that's why I gave you a lot of it, because it's all beautiful and there's so much we could talk about, but you don't have to read every single page. So Stoic philosophy reflected the practical stern discipline of Roman builders, Roman governors, and the Roman army. Very practical, very strong, very stern, very tough. This is a tough-minded philosophy, a no excuses, no whining philosophy. The main focus of Stoicism is ethics. In other words, how should we live our lives? One moment in the film that I love is Maximus is standing there, and I think that one of his lieutenants tells him, our scout has not come back, it's been 2 hours. He has to make a decision.
Are we gonna attack him?
In that one moment, what are we going to do? And that's what a leader has to do. You've got to make decisions in difficult situations. He has the presence of mind to be able to do that. So this philosophy can give you a very strong ethic, a decision-making capacity. So how do we live our lives? How do we make decisions? So ethics is the main focus. But the ethics is undergirded or founded in a metaphysics. And metaphysics is what?
What's really real?
What is really real? So assumptions, like your assumptions about what is really real in the universe. And some of the central concepts are concepts about the soul, and the concept of the logos, and the concept of living according to nature. We're going to talk about some of those. So this ethic is strongly supported by a particular metaphysics. And when one has those principles, Marcus Aurelius says somewhere in the reading, keep your principles ready to hand, as a doctor keeps a scalpel. Or anyone would keep a set of tools. Like I have a Swiss Army knife I carry around with me. It's always there when I need it. Your principles are like tools that are ready for you if you need them. So you can go back to them when you need to make decisions or function in a particular situation. The first Stoic philosopher that I know of was Epictetus. He was actually a Greek slave. This is a drawing of him, not very good. But he was a slave from Greece who gained his own freedom. And he wrote a book called the Manual. So Epictetus' Manual is an early Stoic writing. It could have been one of our readings. I've chosen it in different years. It was supposedly, I remember reading somewhere, but I can't quote you the source, used as a training manual for the Roman army. So the Roman army had its soldiers and its officers reading Stoic philosophy. So we see that reflected. So here are some Stoic principles to talk about and think about as you do the readings. One of the most important ideas in Stoicism is that we have to distinguish between what is in our power and what is not. And one of the unique metaphysical principles in this philosophy is that we can make that distinction. Some things are completely within our control, while some things are not. And there's a quote from Epictetus' writings. He says, "Make it your study, then, to confront every harsh impression with these words. You are just an impression, you are not what you seem. Then be ready to test it by those rules which you possess. And the first of these is, does it concern what is in your power or what is not? And if not, be ready with the answer that it is nothing to you. So there's this strong sense of constant awareness, what is in my control and what is not. And you're going to see that in Marcus Aurelius. He's constantly making himself realize, that is not in my power. How someone else behaves, that is not within my control. Right? We often cause ourselves problems because we walk around worrying about things that we do not control. Other people's behavior is one of them. So there's a very strong sense of the distinction between what's in our control and what's not. That is supported by an epistemology. Epistemology is how human beings know. That is very, very concerned with understanding what our impressions are. Impressions is anything we take in through the senses. So we receive all of our information through our senses, right? Sight, hearing, smell, taste, touch. Anything that comes into us through the senses is an impression. The Stoics were just constantly aware of that fact and aware that impressions are not the same as reality. So somebody says something to you in a tone of voice that hurts your feelings. That's just an impression. Their words and the tone of their voice, it's just a sound that's pouring in through your ears. And as soon as you remind yourself of that fact, you're able to distance yourself from that and realize, I don't have to let that upset me. I don't have to let someone else's tone of voice or facial expression disturb me. And so there's that strong sense of, that goes with the strong sense of the soul as a totally separate center of consciousness and freedom. You could draw a circle around yourself. Inside that circle is your soul, your ability to choose. Outside of it is everything else. Impressions. Even the feelings of your physical body are impressions. Pain. Pain is just an impression to a Stoic. So a Stoic can feel pain and decide, I'm not going to react to that. There's a scene in Gladiator where he cuts off his Roman army tattoo. That's this kind of Stoic ability to tolerate pain by mentally reminding yourself it's just an impression. So there's a strong sense of, the strong awareness, it's really epistemology, that everything is impressions. Sense perceptions, emotions, and even pain are just impressions that are coming to us through the senses. The soul is separate from those impressions. It does not have to be affected by them. I have to tell you that Stoic philosophy, turn this off just for a minute, helped me through